Hello everyone, this is Nicola here from the Mental Illness in the Family blog. I am going to be talking today about identifying boundaries to set with mentally ill family members. Now, I've put up a written blog post about establishing healthy boundaries, but I wanted to go into more detail on this particular aspect of it in the video. So how do you decide what boundaries are appropriate to set? Well, in my experience, it takes a lot of self-reflection to decide what boundaries are the best ones to set for you. And your boundaries are going to look very different to my boundaries. Now, what do I mean by that? So one big boundary that was important for me to set was about phone calls from my mentally ill brother. Now, my brother and I are on very different sleep schedules. He's a night owl and I'm somebody who goes to bed early and needs 8 hours of sleep. Now, when my brother was acutely unwell, he used to call me in the middle of the night for a conversation, for a chat, and I was happy to accept those calls when he was acutely unwell. But as he moved towards managing his symptoms and was doing better, it was very important for me to examine the effects that those phone calls were having on me. And now, if I wasn't getting my full 8 hours of sleep or my sleep was interrupted, it was affecting my working life. It was affecting how I was the next day. So that was a very important boundary for me to set personally. Now, it's important to say that boundaries can have an element of flexibility. So the boundary that I decided to set with my brother, I said, I am going to leave my phone on during the night. But what I would ask you is that you only ring in the case of an emergency. If it's not an emergency and you just think about something you want to chat about, maybe you could send a text instead, and I'm going to leave the notifications on silent. So I'll see the text when I wake up and I'll reply then. Now that sounds like a really small thing, but just identifying that boundary and setting it made a massive difference in our relationship, because it meant I wasn't drained and I had the energy to speak properly during the hours that I was actually awake. So for you, maybe you're a night owl, so that's not a boundary that would be relevant for you to set, but have a think about what's important for you, how certain behaviors from your family member might affect you, and that will give you some clues as to where to start with your boundaries and what are the most important ones to set first. I'd be really interested to hear about your reflections, and you can leave a comment if you'd like to. Thank you so much for listening. I've been Nicola from the Mental Illness in the Family blog. Bye.